What's up, YouTube? This is Chase, no bandwagon jumper for the Dallas Cowboys. This is my fucking fourth fucking take on this damn video. Shit keep interrupting me. If it ain't some female calling me on my damn house phone, messing up my internet, and no, I ain't got no damn dial-up. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I guess 'cause my mama got the fax machine hooked up in there on the same phone line. It be fucking with my internet connection, be disconnecting and everything, freeze up and cut me off and shit. And, I got females calling me on the phone. And then, my mama, she trying to see who the fuck calling and shit. Want to open my door right while I'm making videos and shit. And she want to ask me all these damn questions while I'm trying to record shit. So, this is take four. You know what I'm saying? This is the shit I gotta go through with me, staying at my mama's house right now, getting ready to leave for the Navy. I got like 11 more days before I'm gone. So I'm really not even gonna be able to see my Cowboys late in the season. I'm not gonna see what's gonna happen. So this really, these are the important games right now. This week against the Giants. We gotta get this redemption game in the bag. We gotta put a courtesy flush on these New York Giants. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put their season down the drain. We cannot let them back in things like we did in the past. And the Giants snuck into the playoffs. And then they went what they do. They ran the table and they went through us in the playoffs and they won the Super Bowl. We cannot let that shit happen again. We cannot. We gotta own up to things right now. We gotta get the job done. We cannot choke like we did against the Packers when we had a chance to, pretty much put them on their back for the rest of the season. They dominated us in that game. We barely even got the ball. They dominated the clock, everything, and it came off of third down conversions and penalty yards. You know what I'm saying? And we just was like letting them continue their drives, and it really hurt us. And we only ended up scoring one late touchdown, to Roy Williams, which when basically the game was over already. So that touchdown was just a gimme. So we finally got back on track, on Thanksgiving playing against the sucky ass Raiders. We got the job done. You know what our record is on Thanksgiving. We play good on Thanksgiving. That's our shit. You know what I'm saying? And they talking about changing it to where the Lions and the Cowboys ain't the only teams that get to host on Dallas. On Thanksgiving, and that's gonna suck. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna take? I can understand taking it away from the sucky ass Lions. You know what I'm saying? Give that other spot to a game that somebody actually wants to watch, not the fucking Lions. And but don't take it away from the Cowboys. That's that's part of the shit that I love about watching football on Thanksgiving. You got the Cowboys game, and you've seen that UT Texas Aggies game too. I'm an Aggies fan, and I was happy to see 18 true freshmen for the Aggies, you know, sticking with the Longhorns. Of course, pretty much knew that they wasn't gonna win that game, even though they won the last two out of three meetings between them over the past few years, but they came up short. But anyways, I don't really pay much attention to college football. I'm all about NFL and the Dallas Cowboys, and we talking about the Giants here. If you look at the overall stats of these two teams, we are very similar in our offensive, weapons and stuff. Miles Austin compared to Steve Smith, our two top leading receivers. They're very, very close as far as in yards and stuff. They're very close. I think they're both in 830 area, 830 yards. And then you look at our two leading rushers. You got Jacobs and you got Barber. Of course, we got Choice and Felix Jones also. But Jacobs got like 680 rushing yards, and I think Barber's got like 633 or something like that. We're very similar, you know, and both teams is banged up right now. Both teams is banged up for real. We got like 11 people on injury report this week, including Romo and Barber and Sensabaugh Jenkins. Shit, excuse my congestion. Shit, I've been having congestion ever since I was working out, running a mile and a half and shit yesterday for my Navy Dep recruit meeting and all that shit. But like I said, we got to get this job done. We can't let the Giants sneak into the playoffs, into a wild card spot. We got to, flush their season down the drain this week. It's in our hands to do that. Regardless of what we do with the next 4 games after that, we ain't really gonna get into all of that, you know. But we gotta get it done this week, and then we can look forward to working for home field advantage because we're gonna need home field advantage if we play against either the Giants or the Eagles in a wild card game. We gotta have that home field advantage. Playing the division rivalry for a team 3 times in a season. Hard as hell. That is hard as hell to do. So if we want that extra edge, we gotta play for home field advantage. We gotta get it done against some good ass teams too, because we do not want to play in the playoffs playing the Eagles for a third time in Philly. We don't want to play that second game in Philly, and you know what I'm saying? We gotta have the home field advantage, and then we could talk about whoever we match up against, either the Vikings or the Saints. If it's the Saints, then hopefully the us meeting in the regular season, it would give us a better chance of a better feeling of what their game plan is gonna be against us, and hopefully we can find a way to compete and stop the ass. We gotta get it done. And I'm not sure about everybody else, but I want the Cowboys not just to make the playoffs and not just to win the first week in the playoffs. I want to see them go all the way. You know what I'm saying? That's what our best hopes and wishes is for. For the Cowboys to go back to the Super Bowl finally. I'm not sure if that's really realistic to be putting them there already. We still got 5 weeks of football, if you consider, this game that ain't played on Sunday yet. So we got to get it done in the playoffs. We got to get it done right now, 1 week at a time. We got to get these Giants put in the ground and move forward. You know what I'm saying? We got the Chargers, we got the Saints, we got the Eagles and the Redskins. And that game in Washington is going to be a little bit more difficult than what it was here in Dallas. They got that home field advantage playing in Washington in the cold ass weather. We a Texas team having to go play in some cold weather. And it's gonna be tough already just being a division rivalry. So it's gonna be tough. And we just gotta get this shit done, Dallas. Get it done for real. I guess that's really all I gotta say. I ain't got no hate to be spitting out there for the Giants, you know what I'm saying? I made my little courtesy flush video sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet. Yeah, you already know. That's just, one little quick ass video metaphorically saying, Giants season going down the drain. But that's really all I gotta say. This might be one of the last videos you see me on YouTube for, the rest of the season. You know, of course if the Cowboys lose I'll have to do a pro video or whatever. But my time is limited, you know what I'm saying? It's like I got like maybe 1 or 2 games that I will be able to see before I'm gone out to Chicago for Navy basic training and shit. So, and I know once I'm in, it's not like I'm gonna be able to, be watching all these games and shit. I'm gonna have more shit that I'm gonna have to do, shoveling snow and running and doing push-ups and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Texas boy, so I'm not really used to being in the cold, so I'm gonna have to tough it out. I'm probably gonna get sick and all that shit, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna work through that shit. And all I gotta say is go Dallas Cowboys. You're my team, just like my name says. No bandwagon jumper. I'm not gonna jump no off of the bandwagon, regardless if y'all win or lose. I've been here, all my life. You know what I'm saying? Through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying?